I consult with a lot of people who are looking to, reestablish their private estate. Let's put it like that. And, with regards to the education here at the foundation, it's very difficult for people to administer private contract entities, trusts, due to the fact that there's not too much information readily available. And most people in the public, such as CPAs, attorneys, things of that nature, they are educated by the public. So the public is not going to teach against itself. That's why you have to invest in your own private education. But with regards to finding the right CPA for a private trust, it's March. The end of March is coming, and next month is April. And I do get a lot of questions with regards to taxes. I cannot give legal advice. I'm not qualified. It's absolutely outside of my realm. But what I do is I share my experience, successes and failures. My name is Sot L, Speaker of Truth L, Seeker of Truth L. This is the foundation, and this episode is entitled How to Find the Right CPA for a Private Trust. If you are a private administrator, a private fiduciary, if you are administering private structures and you are running into issues with regards to finding a CPA, this episode is for you. So let's get started. Let's do our dance. First of all, as always, y'all know what it is. Make sure you check out welcome to thefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list, exclusive offers, events, invitations, things of that nature. Also, as we say, if you are looking for the most cogent and comprehensive trust administration educational, platform, courses, however you want to look at it, program, training, I would suggest that you look no further than the link in this description of this video for our silver tier trustee training, the most affordable trustee training I've seen, most comprehensive. It's at your own pace. It's a beautiful thing. You get physical documents. You get a private administration manual. There's a lot of stuff that happens, but as I said, it's at your own pace. If you're interested, link in the description. Also, we have our private membership only members area. If you do sign up for silver tier trustee training, you will get your access to your private membership area with access to your silver tier trustee training course and members area. Outside of that, we are offering limited invites to the private side of Welcome to the Foundation. If you're interested, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. And of course, we have our course, How to Start a Business. It's very comprehensive. It's step by step. Take your time. You will succeed if you take this course and you put action to the course. Appreciate y'all checking out the foundation. Let's jump into this. I did a little presentation for y'all. You know what I mean? I trust that you appreciate the effort that went into this. I'm just playing. It wasn't that much effort. But with regards to what we're talking about, how to find the right CPA for a private trust, I want to get into, some of the issues that I see, the issues that I've heard clients and trustees in training deal with, as well as, some of the things that, how to address these things. I just want to make this very, very quick. I'm not trying to take up too much of your time, but I do want to offer you some real value. So with that being said, when it comes to finding a CPA, right, we understand that CPAs, attorneys, lawyers, all these people, businessmen, salesmen, they're all trained in the public. They go to public school. Some people may go to a private school, but ultimately they go to a public school. Then they go to a public college, a state college more specifically. You have state kindergarten, preschool, state elementary. You have state middle schools, junior highs, you have state high schools, and you have state colleges. Now, you may go to a state college outside your state, but still, most state statutes, state laws, are pretty uniform across the states. You're going to see different things, comparing and contrast different states over different jurisdictions or jurisprudences such as business, family law, property law, things of that nature. But overall, statutes across the states, the United States, are pretty uniform. With that being said, a attorney that is raised up or educated by a state school is going to be primarily taught state statutory law. We have to understand, when we get into these private structures, they do not owe their existence to the public, any statutory law. So therefore, they're not governed by that. And we'll get into that in a second. But ultimately, when it comes to how these structures interface with the public, I would say, unless it's an attorney that studied contract law or an attorney that studied tax law or constitutional law, I would say that, they're pretty much going to say these things that you're seeing right here. Number one, you can't do that. Excuse me. And this will be regards to, certain maybe expenses, certain salaries, who knows? But due to their familiarity or unfamiliarity with statutory state trusts and their regulations, you may hear you can't do that. And these are, of course, the main issues. The next thing you may hear is all trusts must file a state return. That's something that, a lot of trustees in training here, a lot of clients here, and it really, stops them up. You have someone, excuse me, with what we would call experience and knowledge in a specific area of expertise, very confidently telling you that all trusts must file a state return, right? And then the last one we have, I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I want to just address these three things real quick. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate y'all checking out the show, right? So let's get into general responses. You can't do that. A general response that I would use is, quote, I understand the limitations with regard to statutorily governed trusts. This trust does not owe its existence to and is not governed by state statutes. This would more likely be with certain expenses that a private trust, or in particular private trusts, are allowed according to its private contract indenture versus what expenses are allowed to statutorily govern trusts. This is the distinction. This is it. So when someone in the public, a CPA, an attorney, something like that says that, you can't do that, I basically just say, I understand the limitations with regard to statutorily governed trusts. Completely understand that. This trust does not owe its existence to and is thereby not governed by state statutes. And, for me, that opens up a conversation, or it at least allows me to immediately rebut what they're saying confidently, cogently, with the same or probably more powerful energy that they told me that I couldn't do that with my administration. Got it? Let's move on. Like I said, I'm not trying to take up your time. All trusts must file a state return. Quote, this is my general response. Again, I definitely am familiar with the reporting requirements of this trust. And I can assure you that this complex trust is private and does not fall under the requirements of state governed or statutory trusts. If the trust isn't created, isn't governed, there's no language with regards to state jurisdiction within the trust indenture. There's actually implicit language stating that, state statutory law, legislative powers do not apply to this specific, trust indenture. Then, we have the obligation, in my opinion, for the benefit of the beneficiaries and the growing and administration of the estate to follow the rules of the trust indenture. Now, the use of the two words reporting requirements and the use of the term complex, the CPA should understand what that means. And, I suggest that you, if you don't understand what that means, I suggest that you do your research so you can completely comprehend what I'm saying to them in response to these statements. And of course, I'm not a lawyer. I can't give legal advice. I can't give financial advice. I can't really even give relationship advice, to tell you the truth. So, everything I'm saying is for educational, informational, and sometimes entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. I could be crazy. I could be a crazy dude sitting in, some basement just talking crazy. Please believe. And let's move forward. Last one, main response to the main issue. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I've heard this a lot. I know many clients, many trustees in training have said this, have told me that they said, hey, they just don't want to do it. Right. With keeping in mind the time and energy it took for you to walk into that office to talk to this person, this CPA, this tax preparer, me personally, I'm not going to just let it go and say, thank you, have a good day. This is what I'm going to say. You say what you say, do what you do, but this is what I'm going to say. Something to the effect of, quote, considering the trust would be contracting you to prepare the return. I also understand that I am to declare under penalty of perjury the return is true, correct, and complete. You only sign verifying that the information I, the fiduciary, has given you. That's it. That's their job. When you understand this, and I feel like when I tell them this, it kind of puts their mind at ease, because not only is that true, but I know it, which means that I know that it's not the responsibility of the preparer to speak to the veracity of the information that they're putting into the return. They're getting that from me. They have no personal knowledge of the administration of the trust. They have no personal knowledge with regards to the contract indenture. None. Zero. So all they're going off of is the information that they're getting from me, the trustee, the fiduciary. And I'm reminding them that I understand that. You're only here to prepare it. You sign it as the preparer. I sign it as the fiduciary, ultimately. Now, there may be, specific different language with regards to what I just said, but ultimately, basically, it's exactly what I just said. And this is a rebuttal. This rebuttal has worked. It has worked before. Main thing is that this is a non-adversarial interaction, right? Or specifically a non-adversarial transaction, meaning we're looking to contract on behalf of the trust a tax preparer. It's a transaction. It's nothing personal. I'm not trying to or attempting to be disrespectful. Being very, very cordial, very, very noble and businesslike. Because I know that as the trustee, I represent the good name of the trust, and it's on me not to bring anything bad or bring any type of controversy on the good name of the trust. So I must act in a certain way. I must be 100% professional. I know it's not personal. This is not an adversarial transaction. This is a negotiation to do business together. So, I would recommend that you keep that in mind, because ultimately I believe that we ultimately just get it wrong. A lot of people just feel like that, they know, but they're not trying to tell me. They're trying to keep me away from my private rights. I'm going to tell you 9 times out of 10, That's not even the case. What the real case is that they just don't know. They just don't know. And what you're doing, if you are administering private contractual trust, private contractual complex entities, you are doing something that is very, very unusual. It's very unusual. It's absolutely unusual. Now, since we're talking about CPAs, let's go over this 1041. 1041 is the return for specifically trusts. So this is the 1041. This is the current 1041, right? I'm going to go through this. I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice, but I do want to point out that, this return is pretty simple. What is this? 3 pages. It used to be 2. They added a lot. But what I want to point out is here in income, you see this area right here. This is income. You have interest income. Of course, I believe that would be, any income received off of the holding and ownership of any type of stocks or bonds or things of that nature that are held in the name of the trust, right? Qualified dividends, business income or loss, capital gains, rents, royalties, farm income, ordinary income, and you have other income, right? Deductions. And these are all, fiduciary fees, charitable deduction, 15A, other deductions, net operating loss. That typically is going to have, something to do with the membership interest or corporate shares it's holding with regards to a LLC or corporation. Income distribution deduction. Remember, complex trusts can disperse 100% of their taxable income to their beneficiaries. Qualified business income deduction, but look at here. Sign here. Under penalties of perjury, I declare that I have examined this return, including accompanying schedules and statements, and to the best of my knowledge and belief, it is true, correct, and complete. Declaration of preparer, other than taxpayer, is based on all information of which preparer has any knowledge. Remember what I said earlier? This is the signature of fiduciary right here, or officer representing the fiduciary. So if some sort of agent that's authorized to, do these things. The preparer, paid preparer use only, right here. This is where they put in their information. They're not under penalty of perjury. They just say if there's anything wrong with the way they prepared it, if they made a mistake, if they put a 5 instead of a 9 or something of that nature, that's on the preparer. If you gave them a number and it was a 5 and they typed in 9, whoops, that's on them. But if you gave them a number and they typed it in correctly, and then there's some sort of IRS questioning or audit or something of that nature, there's nothing on the preparer. It's good to know that. Let's move down here real quick, and then I'm going to let y'all go. Right? Where is it? I saw it earlier. Enter the gain. That's not it. Other amounts. Where did it go? Because this is where people get in trouble, right? And I'm telling you, the individual must be responsible for the individual's taxes or any taxes that come up with regards to it. Income required distributed under income. Where'd it go? Tax. Oh, it's down here. I'm sorry. Other information. Did the estate or trust receive all or part of their earnings, salary, wages, or other compensation of any individual by reason of contract assignment or similar agreement? And then people will be like, well, I'll just contractually assign my, employee checks to the trust. Okay. It doesn't matter. Whatever person was paid, whatever name was on that direct deposit, whatever name was on that check, that name must account for its taxes. And the individual cannot assign any money contractually. Please believe me. Or not, because I could be crazy. I could be out of my mind. Absolutely out of my mind. That's it, y'all. I trust that you learned something, that this gave you something to work with. it made private trust administration more reasonable, feasible, and, I would say hopefully more approachable for you. Because that's all it is. Reestablishing your private estate. As far as I'm concerned, individual, LLCs, corporations, statutory trusts, partnerships, all these are creatures of the public. They're creatures of the state. Your birth certificate has a state seal on it, not your family seal. Think about that for a second. I think it's incumbent upon us to create structures that reestablish our private estate. If y'all have any questions, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. I suggest you sign up for our trustee training. Y'all have a luxurious, 100% luxurious week. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night, because it is very important. And I will catch y'all tomorrow on current events. Peace, y'all.